What? Oh, wait.
Welcome to What's the Deal with Sam? Starring Sam Lilly. Join Sam as he discusses a wide variety of topics.
Bad
Now
Thank
let's
you.
start the show.
Thank you. What's the deal with assuming gender? It's like assuming what would work for that? Like assuming whatever. Think round. Sorry. I just wanted to mention some of this, I guess, because that's the thing that people have brought up about assuming gender and shit, and it's that's a thing now that we can be upset about, I guess, and be really, assholes on both sides of the table on that. And here's the thing with this: the idea of assuming someone's gender is just like you think that they're a certain gender, usually male or female, but there's stuff like the transgender. I don't know if that's, if you're in between, if you're considered like in there. Some people find themselves to be gender fluid, where they can feel like they're either. Some people feel like they're a different gender than the sex that they are. I think that's the difference. It's like the sex is like the scientific thing, and the people saying that are saying their gender is not. I don't know exactly how they have been using the terms and everything. I don't know. I'm just a dude, so I haven't really had much of a problem with that because I'm a dude who feels like a dude who identifies as a dude. So obviously it's not really my fight there, but I think that it is kind of shitty if someone is like, I identify as like this. I'd prefer you call me like with these pronouns or whatever for me. Refer to me as like I'm a guy, I'm a girl, whatever. Refer to me like this. And it's like it's kind of like a preference thing too, and it's like respecting them. And it's like okay, like there's that, and like fine. The thing is, and if you're okay, and if I'll also go on and say, I guess, if you know that shit and you're like, I'm just gonna still call you what I think you are, anyways. It's like that's like what the fuck, dude. I told you. It's not like, someone's calling me like a girl and it's like I'm not. Hey, could you not call me that? And then they keep calling me that. Like whatever. That's how I see you. And it's like, don't. Like, I told you, like, I don't like this. Why would you continue to do it? You're a fucking asshole, right? That's kind of the thing with that. It's just like if somebody calls you, like, a nickname or something, or calls you some shit that you don't want them to call you, like, they're like, hey, fat ass. And if, like, whatever, people have called me that a shitload of times, I don't give a shit. But if I was like, please, could you not call me a fat ass? I don't really like that. They'd be like, sorry, I just see you as a fat ass. And it's like, if I didn't personally identify as a fat ass, I'd be really pissed off. They keep doing that. It's like, that's misrepresenting me. That's not cool. Don't do that. I told you. The other side of things, I do want to point out that it is a little ridiculous to be offended by it fucking immediately, right? Like, somebody comes up to you and just uses a pronoun based on what they think you are. That's not them trying to impose that on you. That's them just trying to talk to you and construct a sentence without having to go through, fucking going over verbal hurdles where it's like, oh shit, like, excuse me, you there with your shirt and face, would you of that description and identification help me point me to the bus stop. I don't know, just like you have to like do a weird like work around it to not accidentally say the wrong gender and like offend someone. And it's like, if you get offended by someone just saying the wrong gender out of nowhere because they have to talk to you like a human being, like, eat a dick, okay? Eat a dick. Not literally, just figuratively eat a dick. I don't care what you do in your spare time. You know, I don't know what kind of delicacies you get imported or anything. But just do that, and, like, it seems weird to be so upset immediately. It's usually not mean-spirited, meant for offense or something if someone just is, like, using a pronoun that you don't identify with or is calling you a gender you don't feel like you are, right? You don't feel like you identify with that. And to be extra fair with it, just to be fair, if they don't know you and you identify as, you know, a gender that is not the same as your sex, then you have to kind of realize people are going to assume you identify with the gender of your sex. They're gonna assume that, because it's like, oh, like this person has a ween, he's probably a dude, right? This person is probably a dude, whereas this person has a vajay. She's probably a lady. We're gonna assume when we're talking, so we can say he, she, rather than it or that person. We don't have to, you know, jump around like this. Verbal hurdles. Like in trying to jump over this shit and not say the things, you know, that don't wanna bring up the elephant in the room. And what if that elephant doesn't identify as an elephant? What if it identifies as a giraffe? You know, it's still technically an elephant, but if it's just like, dude, please, just call me a giraffe, you know, then you're like, alright, you're fucking, like, okay, I guess. I mean, I don't know, like, it's a tricky area and whatnot, but if it's something that's, like, they've requested of you and you want to, like, respect them and not piss them off with this, and you don't think it's at all psychologically damaging, like, obviously, if someone's like, please, I identify as a table, please refer to me as a table, you know, like, at a certain point you might want to be like, I don't know about this might be a bit much, but, like, if you think that they're of a sound mind and you know, it's just like they don't want to be offended and you don't want to keep offending them with that, you know, then just call them what they want to be called for that. Just do that. And, like, there's no reason you have to say a different thing and be your version of right about it if it's going to offend them. Like, where the fuck do you get off? And yeah, so basically that's my nice common sense PSA for this episode, is that you should maybe just try not to offend people when they've told you what offends them. Don't keep doing the thing because you're an asshole. And don't assume that everybody that's assuming your gender is automatically doing it to be an asshole or to be offensive. It's just, people have to be able to communicate, and in the process, you should communicate the way you feel you're being treated incorrectly to them, rather than communicating that you've been offended. Really, rather than communicating in a way that's like, fuck you for doing this thing to me that you probably didn't even know you were doing. Yes, you know, guys, just be a little reasonable, communicate, think for a sec. And, what's the deal with assuming gender? It's like, I don't know, assuming sexuality with the ground. Does that work? Yeah, sure. I don't have the mental fortitude to think about if that works with the scenario or not, so we'll say it did.